Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sally and this is Fabulous Over 50. Today's video is how I created this look just to go shopping to Marks and Spencer's and have a mooch round the sales. This is an everyday look that I've created using Max Factor and some fantastic products that I found in 2023 that I honestly will not live without. If you enjoy this video and you find it helpful, then I would love you to subscribe and perhaps share it with your friends. I aim to bring content every single week for women over 50 to not only look good, but to feel great too. So I've already done my skincare and now I'm going to go straight in with my absolute favourite pre-foundation primer, you could call it. It's the most wonderful CC cream and it's by Aborian. So this is the Aborian CC cream. I have got the shade Claire. It comes out very, very pale and then it adjusts to your skin. It's very clever stuff. And then when I've got it on, and literally that's it, I'm just going to rub it in and it just transforms into the most beautiful foundation, but it's very light. So I like to use this as a base because it gives just a little bit of glow that can be detected underneath your foundation. And I just love the combination of this beautiful Aborian CC cream, which they call skincare and makeup in one. And I understand why, because it leaves your skin feeling so beautifully soft and it evens out your skin tone. So the next thing is this Aborian Super BB cream. It's absolutely fantastic for the under eyes, but it's also great if you've got any scarring, any pigmentation, maybe a pimple or two. It is superb and it lasts all day, but you need a tiny amount. So literally a tiny squeeze, that is it. It is so fantastic and it goes a long way. Now I'm going to use that under my eyes. I'm warming it in between my two ring fingers and I'm going to just pat it under my eyes where I have hollowing and I have bluey purpley shadows and pigmentation. So just a little bit in the corners. So next I'm going to use my absolute favorite foundation that I discovered in 2023 and I have to say I love it. It is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus and this is in the dewy formulation. I have got soft beige. It is very, very moisturizing. If you've got oily skin or you tend to be a little bit oily, then this might not be the one for you. You might want to have the matte version, which is exactly the same, absolutely beautiful. I like to have a little bit of glow. As my skin has gotten older and obviously a little drier, I quite like feeling that my skin feels soft to the touch and it doesn't feel too dry. So I'm going to pat that on just using this little applicator. A little bit goes a long way. And I'm going to rub that in with using my fingertips. I can use a brush and sometimes do, but today I just want to very quickly pop my makeup on, get ready for a little trip to Marks and Spencer's and be done. There we have it. So that is the foundation. You can see it's a really lovely texture. You can still see my skin, but it has completely given me an airbrush, diffused filter finish. It feels dewy, it feels soft, and I know that I've got that radiance that I do love. Next up, I'm going to do my cheeks. I love a creamy blush, a liquid blush even, and this one from Iconic is a really, really good one. It's called Sheer Blush, and the shade that I'm using is Rosy Riot. You've got to be careful, it will come out quite quickly, and I like to rub it in between my fingers and then I'm going to go on the high points of my cheeks, just all the way up. I don't want to come too low down, I don't want to give myself too much of a shadow or shade towards my jowls, which can make things look a little bit heavier. So I'm going to apply my blush nicely on my mid cheek coming up towards my temple. If you use strokes, often I found that actually that pulls the blusher away. So I like to use little patting motions all the way up, just so that I can get it set into my skin without the worry that it's going to somehow move or slide off. Now that's the sheer blush. I'm going to use a second blush. Now this one is from Beauty Pie. It's one of my favourites. It is Beauty Pie and it's called Fresh Faced. It is a cream blush, but it's a little bit more of a thicker consistency, this one. I'm going to use my brush and just pat it into the pot and use little stippling motions. I'm just going to pop that in a similar area. Now the reason I use two products on my cheeks is the sheer blush has a little bit of an illuminating effect and it gives a slight highlight effect, nothing too dramatic. I don't particularly want to be seen from space. I just want my cheeks to look a little bit glowy. And then I go over with a more intense colour because that lovely highlight does show underneath. I always go over my bridge of my nose. I think that that gives a nice healthy sun-kissed look. And we really need it in England. It just hasn't stopped raining. It is pretty miserable weather at the moment. And I know that's typical of January, but I can't wait for it to stop raining. So the eyeshadow that I've chosen is a quad palette from Max Factor. I have just stuck my finger in it accidentally. So you can see these are lovely, lovely shades of mauves and there's some heather and a lovely highlight there. I'm just going to have a play. I don't want anything too dark or too dramatic. It is literally just a midweek shopping trip. So I'm going to take a fluffy brush first of all and use the lighter of the shades just to go all over my lid in order to create a transition colour. So I have got slightly hooded eyes. They're not awful. This eye is definitely worse than this eye, but we're all a little bit asymmetrical at the end of the day. So I'd like to use clever makeup just to give the appearance of having more space between my brow and my lash line. So I'm going to use a lovely soft fluffy brush and go over the whole of my lid with this colour all the way up, just not quite hitting the brow. So it's barely detectable, but that is kind of what that's going to do is create a nice base. So I'm going to now have a go with this one here. I'm going to do that on the outside edge here, just coming up, and then I'm going to go across into my crease. So that is very light, so I think I'm going to go now and intensify it. I'm going to use the darker shade very carefully, again loading some on my brush, tapping off the excess. I'm going to do exactly the same, but I'm going to pat on the outside coming up to my crease and then sweeping over a little higher than my crease to give the appearance of more space and down. Almost like you could call it a C. So literally just a C shape with shadow, creating the illusion of more space and a lifted brow. On this side, and a C quite high up, higher than you would normally go with your eyeshadow, just to help with a hooded eye. There we have it. I really like it. It's very pretty. Now I'm going to use my fingers and apply the shimmer. So I'm going to use my ring finger, take a good amount of that on to my fingertip. It's a lovely colour. And I'm going to just pat that right in the middle up to the corner, but not completely over to the side of my lid. Again on the other side, just pat that. There we have it. Just gives a little bit of shimmer. It's very pretty. It's a lovely, lovely palette. That's it. So I'm just now going to blend everything in again. We don't want any disconnect from where we've placed our shadow and our shimmer, but I'll be careful not to spread the shimmer all over the eyes. I'm just going to blend it to soften it a little bit more, and that's my little daytime look. So using a liner brush, I'm actually going to use that very dark shade and use that as an eyeliner. I'm going to just go across my lashes and just wing that out ever so slightly. It's very, very subtle. I don't need it to be very, very dark. If you start to create your wing, maybe 2 or 3 lashes in as opposed to right on the edge, you will give the appearance of a lifted eye. Now I'm going to do just underneath, I'm going to do the lighter shade. and I'm just going to go along under my lashes as well, not all the way, just on the outside edge. Now I'm going to take a concealer brush, and all I'm going to do is tidy up on the corners of my makeup and just bring that up. And that little trick there, when you've got a little bit of foundation just on your brush, will help just to sweep up and tidy up your eye area. The next thing I'm going to do is use my mascara. I love the Maybelline Sky High. I think it's a fabulous black mascara. I also love the spoolie. I am in need of a new one, however, so this might need a couple of coats. So I'm going to do that off camera. So for my eyebrows, I'm going to use an eyebrow gel. It's similar to Benefit. It came from Aldi, actually. It's called the Set and Forget Brow Gel, and it just sweeps up, and it really does stick your brows. I have tinted my brows, so I'm not in need of a brow pencil today. I do have fairly decent brows, luckily. But if you needed a pencil, then you would just whiz through with your brow pencil brush, and then use this. So for my lips, I'm going to use something fairly nude, maybe a corally pink. I do love the corals. This is a Revolutions lip pencil. It's very soft. You can use it all over your lips actually, and it will stay put. Let's have a go at this. My lips are fairly wonky, so when I'm lining my lips, I'm trying to compensate for the fact that this side seems to be fuller than this side seems to be thinner than this side, but you just got to work with what you've got. So that's it. That's my completed makeup look, just in time for the weather to take a turn for the worse and hammer it down. I decided to go for a more vibrant pink lipstick, simply because I feel like I need all the vibrancy and upliftment on this grey miserable day. I loved that Max Factor eye palette. It's a lovely quad palette. However, I do feel that the pigments weren't that intense, and I probably could have gone a bit heavier. But for today, for a mooch round Marks and Spencer's, it's a perfect look. I do hope you loved this video, and if you did, perhaps give it a like and think about subscribing, and maybe share it with your friends. I aim to bring videos for women over 50 to help you not only look good, but to feel great too. Until next time, bye for now.